Guys, this is the Slinger, and this is a Warframe grind video. So, I had to do some plastids farming today, and here I am. I absolutely love the rework with Hydroid. Big supporter of the rework, love what they did, think he is the corrosive king, and honestly, in my opinion, him and Citrin, not that I use primarily either of them the most, probably the most perfect Warframes as a whole after the rework. He's a corrosive king, right? So, and you can have different opinion on that. You know, you can be like, yeah, go fuck yourself, but it's just my opinion. And I remember right after the rework, me and my buddies went and did some high-level gaming, and I was eating chips and drinking my Monster and giggling because he couldn't be touched, you know? I think I had a Panzer Volbephile on him at that point. So he was getting viral and corrosive, you know. Worked out great. But yeah, so is there such a thing as making something more perfect? Maybe. Maybe not, right? But yeah, so I put some shards on him tonight because I like them. And honestly, it's not the meta, it's just really fun and make him more, even more unkillable without trying. So 56 minutes. All right, so I'm gonna stay here an hour, and then we'll go over what I did. And honestly, I used the exact same build, I believe, from my video on Hydroid before. I'm not saying that I'm not gonna do any changes to Hydroid, but these, I think these shards that are on here are amazing. But we'll go over all of that though, you know, not a big deal. So I'm using a Hydroid incarnate, and usually I use the Core with him, which is really good. I just didn't have a build that would be perfect for this test. I probably still will use the Core with him, to be honest with you, but I had a decent build on the Furus incarnate, so I gotta pay attention. I'm not even paying attention. This is a corrosive and blast build on the Hydroid. Well, it's a corrosive build, but it's doing blast as well. As you can see, the procs are corrosive and blast. I am using the Nautilus, and I'm using the Verglass for the weapon. And I'll get into why, because in my last video I didn't use the Verglass because I had a ribbon on the Artex, and I wanted to use it for the cold. But for this use, the Verglass is really, really good.
We will all share in this bounty. Hold out as long as you can.
Alright, so we're at an hour farming solo on Uranus, Ophelia. I believe that's how it's said. This is where I come for my plastids and stuff like that. So usually I come with other people a lot of times too, because if I put it in a clan, there's usually somebody that needs something from you. So alright, I'll start heading to the door. And in an hour, I did not go down once, but that's also pretty normal with Hydroid. But what I was watching was the actual shield regeneration for this test. That's really why I was here. Because yes, this is a shield gating type setup. With the new shards, so. Oh, I gotta wait for that though. Alright.
And so we learn the importance of clarity.
52 steel lessons in an hour. Come see, come saw. I never missed any, but I don't think it levels up that fast over here at Ophelia, or it's a lower level to start off with. In Steel Path, I think it's like 120 or 130 or something. I don't even rightly know. Alright, so how much plastids did I get? 10,780. Not bad. I needed a lot of plastids. I do have a really, really good Necros build, but Hydroid is just more fun for me. Necros is been my tried and true farming. Now, there's Korra too. There's a lot of good farming frames in Warframe. So, but Hydroid, when they made the rework, I just loved it. So,
Operator, you have
it
returned.
is login, guys. What should your choice be? Got lots of Oxium. Well, I think the obvious one is Resource Booster. All right. Since what I wanted to do is make support charges. And that's why I needed Plastids. All right, guys. So let's get right into the build. I'm taking a long time. But so I have a ability strength Tau Forge shard on here. That's the first one. I have the regenerate +5 shields when you inflict an enemy with blast status. I have 3 of those. They're all the same. They are not Tau Forge. 2 Tau Forge would do the exact same thing as these 3, and it would save you some space. But this is what I had left over from robbing the shard cabinet. And also I have increased max stacks of corrosion status by 2. A Tau Forge would be perfect right here, and later on I will change that over to Tau Forge, but for right now this is something, right? So to get closer to that, just stripping. And yeah, and he is the corrosive king, so this is corrosion. As for his abilities, I'm going to be honest, I could have done an auto gate in here, but I just love all of his abilities. They're all useful. I do not want to get rid of any of them. I love playing him the way he is. So if I am going to do a shield gate, it's not going to be with the Octavia's rollerball, right? So, and if you don't know about that, look at my videos about auto gating or Octavia's rollerball or Degath or Octavia, right? So, but this is actually a little bit different. So my gun was doing blast damage. You see on the build there is blast damage and there is corrosive. My Furus does blast damage and corrosive and radiation. So these work pretty much everywhere in Warframe. All right. The Furus works best in the new Necrolist section, if I said that right. So with the Legendary Dark Scanna, it's just a Prisma Scanna. Okay, it's incarnate though, and this does have the new melee exposure, if I can say that, on there, because I am doing a corrosive thing, and there is a big ass ribbon on here that gives me critical damage, attack speed, and critical minus critical chance. Oh yeah, the reason I have the minus critical chance is and I could actually probably get rid of this, because when I don't use exposure and I use the other influence, it's all about status. So, but I think I'm going to get rid of this ribbon, although I do like the attack speed. Oh, it's got attack speed on it. I think I'm going to re-roll this ribbon. I'm going to have to re-roll this ribbon is what I'll do. Oh, but that's minus critical chance for slide. Yeah, reading Hooked on Phonics worked for me. So yeah, that's fine. I don't care about minus critical chance for slide. Alright, the Torrid got a ribbon on here. You guys have seen my Torrid builds, so that's a critical damage, critical chance, or as the high rollers say, CD, CC ribbon. Oh, excuse me. But basically, corrosive and blast is the important part, because the blast will be setting off your shield gate. The corrosive, because he's the corrosive king. Alright, so then the Nautilus, it's the crit build, but really it should be the health and energy build. I don't know why. I just went in there blindly, but I'm going to switch this to the health and energy build. because I'm not using a crit build right now. I didn't even look at that, guys, to be honest with you. But I am using the Verglass, which is important. And the reason is the fire rate. All right. With the Verglass, you can get a very high fire rate if you use speed trigger and vial acceleration. And with that kind of fire rate, you could be constantly charging your shield gate. All right. So say you don't want to do like Octavia's rollerball. You can totally shield gate and help your shield gate with just this, with a 30 fire rate, and have blast damage on the build and corrosive. That's all you need. And then you've got pretty close to an auto gate setup between your weapons and the Nautilus. So yeah, I'm going to change this right now to a health and energy build. Although I don't need energy for him at all because he's Hydroid. And
Ready for action.
this is just the normal stuff. Fast deflection, catalyzing shields, both tidal impunity and pilfering swarm. Oh, and rousing plunder. His augments are so good. Like, they should have just been part of his build, but they're so good. I just want them on. And this, I take this everywhere, this build. So equilibrium, just to keep getting more stuff. Stretch, because you need some kind of, I could even, I've got drift on here, so I could change out drift for more range. And I might do that because range is a nice thing to have. Continuity primed. Yep. Volt augmented just to get more strength as you go. Blessing, I could change that out. Let's call that a flex. We'll call it power drift a flex. We'll call blessing a flex. You could just put whatever you want in there. So, yeah, that's my video. Just kind of an auto gate, but not really. Kind of a passive shield mitigation, right? Is where I put that. So, all right, guys. Hydroid, of course, benefits from everything that everybody else benefited with the Whispers in the Wall updates and the new shards. These are topaz, and that's an emerald. And this is a normal, well, not normal, it's Tau Forge Crimson. But yeah, it's really that simple. Even make him more tanky. Not that he needed it. Not that this is meta. It's totally not. It's just fun. I wanted to do it, and I like it. So that's about the way it is. All right, guys, get out there and grind. I will.